Right, so these questions are going to be on quadratic functions, okay, and the graph of a quadratic function, and the functions are actually all going to be in the form of, need to get the right tool there, y equals kx squared. Okay, so these are the basic ones. So these are quadratic functions in which, or the graph in which the turning point is always at 0, 0 in the origin. It's not being moved along the x-axis or up and down the y-axis. Now, the questions will be always asking you, what's the value of k? So right now, if you think about it, k equals 1. Okay, so that's y equals x squared. So if k is 1, 1 times x squared is x squared. If k is a positive, always think of it, so if k is a positive value, always think of the parabola going this way, and if k is a minus, always think of it going that way. Okay, so wee smiley face, you're all positive, you're happy, or if you're negative, you might be feeling down. Okay, and it's a similar thing to remember line graphs. Positive, things are looking up, or things are going down if you're negative. So we'll have a wee look at the questions, and they're actually not too bad to work out. What I'll have to do first, though, is get rid of all this, and then we can have a wee look at the first question. So, first question is, right, here's your graph. So again, it's always going to be y equals kx squared, but we need to work out what this k is. So quite often they'll actually put it on some graph paper, and they might even highlight some points on it, and they do that for a reason. So if I look at this point here, right, now that is 1, 15. Okay, so that's your x coordinate, and that's your y coordinate. So what you do is you just put these values into this equation. So if I'll just rewrite it out here again. Kx squared, now we know y for this point on the graph, y is 15 equals k times x, which is 1 squared. Okay, so what we've now got is 15 equals k. That's, you can just write that as k equals 15. So we can now say, well, y equals 15 x squared, and that is the equation for this parabola. If you go into the next question, again, to give you it in a wee grid, so just highlight. I need to make sure I can actually edit this. So you just highlight, so here's a point there, and you just write down, that's at point 1, 3. So just to make sure, remember that's your x, that's your y. Again, you just use the same equation, y equals k x squared. We want to work out what k is, but we know what y, for this specific point, we know what y is and what x is. So we can then have a wee look to see, well, y is 3 equals k, where x is 1, so that's 1 squared. Okay, so that is 3 is the value of k, or you can just say k is equal 3. Obviously that means the same, so we can then substitute it back into the equation, and it's y equals 3x squared. And we move on to the next one. Again, just pick a point. I'm just going to pick the first one I can see, and that is, I mean, you could pick that one as well, but I'll just pick this one. Right, so what we've got, that's a point or coordinate 1, 5, and remember that's your x, so x is 1, y is 5. So again, what we've got is y equals kx squared. We now can say, well, for this point in the graph, y is 15, x is 1, so it's k times 1 squared, and that is 5 equals k. And again, we can say obviously k is 5. So we can then put it back in the equation and just say y equals 5x squared. Okay, so essentially you're just working out k. They give you x and y, and it's a lot easier than it looks. This one they've given you a coordinate. Okay, so again you just go, right, well, y equals kx squared, This is your x, remember, that's your y, so you go, well, 48, that equals, who knows what k is yet, and then 4 squared. So, still got a wee bit of working out to do, so 48 equals k, and that's 16, so obviously that's 16k, right, so that's 16k. You want to work out what k is, so you just divide both sides by 16. So 48 divided by 16 is 3, 16 divided by 16 is k, so k equals 3, right? 3 equals k, k equals 3, and you just go y equals 3x squared. And I think we've got one or two more to go. So if I go into this one, again we've got 2, and we've got 12. So again, this is x and y. I'll write it, I'll just write it up here. So we've got, again, y equals kx squared. You'll know this off by heart by now. We've got y is 12 equals k. X is 2, but it's squared, remember. And so that's 12 equals k4, which is the same as obviously 12 equals 4k. We divide both sides by 4, and we get k again equals 3. We're just going to get the same answer as the last one, so we go y equals 3x squared. And that's your answer. And I think there's just one more. I think we've looked at one like that, so try this one. Again, they've given you a few points. I'm just going to go for the ones that are positive because it's a wee bit simpler that way. So that is coordinates there, that's your x and y, and then I'll just write up here again, equals kx squared. We know at this specific point we've got y is equal to 6, k got no idea, but we know it's x is 1 and that's squared, so that is basically k equals x, and that means we can rewrite this formula with the value of k, y equals 6x squared. And that's essentially how you do these ones. So hopefully that's helped you out a bit.